scrunch it down a little bit. Scrunch it. Scrunch it. Not too much scrunch. Scrunch it. Boom. Perfect. That looks great. Ooh, yes. Now, if you don't feel like that's comfortable enough for you, all you have to do is just select all by double tapping A, and then use this transformation manipulators. It's right next to this, which kind of just moves the polys, right? So you want this one, and you want to click on the red one, which is the x-axis, and then just scale it. Just a tad, nothing too serious, right? And that just makes it a little bit bigger, a little fluffier. And that looks great. So what we're gonna do, same thing as everything else. We're gonna mirror it, make sure it's on the armature. So that way, it mirrors the armature. Like everything else, I'm just gonna leave the mirror on so that I don't have to worry about it later. And so far, it's looking pretty good. All right. Now, since I have it kind of shaped to the head right now, so we got the main design down. So now what I need to do is add this weird bit. I don't want to call this. This bit here is supposed to connect to the headset, and that's kind of what it like connects it, right? So that you can like move them around and stuff. The little brackets you see right here. Simple. We want to make sure that we delete the faces, because if we delete the lines, it's gonna be a interesting day. Right? So faces, delete, cool. And then we need these to be a little further in, right about there, right? We'll just go to a mesh then. I'll make it easier this time. All right, so we're just gonna do this then. Set no origin. We want to scale this down. God, I love this song. Rotate y-axis on 90 degrees. We're gonna scale it. Boom, boom, boom. We're gonna make sure we just do this early because I am lazy. Delete. And then what we're gonna do, this one's gonna be a little interesting because you can't do this on both sides, right? But if you want to be lazy with it, like me, and make sure that everything's perfect, you can do the same thing. And this one you're gonna mirror, but you're gonna mirror it a little differently, right? So we're gonna go over here, delete all of this, faces, boom, and then we're going to add modifier. We're going to mirror it on the y-axis and take off x-axis, make sure clipping is enabled, and then we're gonna go to the lines here and make sure that I move these together, making sure that they are together, right? And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to scale these kind of inwards. But what I'm going to also do here is I'm going to subdivide smooth these because they need a lot more polys. So let's try to make this
and now good night, the end of a perfect evening.
Thanks so much. I had loads of fun.
So did I.
Good night, Woody.
Night, Ann.
All right. There we go. Now we got that. So let's hit apply now. Okay. Good. And then we're gonna mirror it again. This time on the x-axis. Make sure it is to armature. That way it does it right. Alright, so you're gonna go press Shift A and go to a curve. And you're gonna do a path. And then you're gonna do the same thing, except you're gonna make a circle this time. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the line, and then you're gonna go over to this little weird thing right next to the wrench. And you're gonna go over to bevel object, and you're gonna click the circle. And that will make this mesh. Right? And all we're gonna do is move the circle kind of downwards, or scale it down, and that'll also scale down this. So all we're gonna do is do this up. And then we're gonna rotate this on the x-axis, no, y-axis, 90 degrees. Scale it down a little bit more. I'm gonna need this to be a little bit thicker. There we go. I know this kind of looks weird right now, but just give me a second, I'll show you why. This is probably the best way to go about it. Not like perfect, but it's one of the better ways. Now, I'm sure there's easier ways, and they're probably more time-consuming, or the way I'm doing is more time-consuming. There's so many ways to do things. This is the way I'm doing it. So, what we're gonna do is put this about here, this over here, and then we're gonna do this here, and this up here. Yeah. Yeah. Right about there. Perfect. Okay. Damn it! Stupid. Okay. So, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do, I think it's Control C? Yeah, Control C. Or Alt C. Sorry, I'm dumb. And we're gonna make it into a mesh. So that turns it from a line to a mesh. Now, you can always make this, or you can I think optimize it. Where is it at? Decimation, there you go. And, I think there's a way to decimate a specific thing. So, first things first, we need to, like, scale the shit out of the bottom half. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna pray this works. Bridge edge loops. Well, it was a try. Haha! There you go. Cool. Perfect. Okay, so we have the ear, right? And we have the inner bit. Now, what I need to do is make this like, it's gonna be like a weird PNG styled. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but it's gonna be interesting. So, what we need to do is do our keybinds, right? That's for fucking sure. I want to get right about there. Like, we want like a decent chunk of it. And then we need to add another one. And we want to do the same thing we did before, where we kind of like put it super close together, right? Then this one will go really close, not super close, but right about there-ish. Yeah, right about there. And then, boom. Okay, so now we have that. So we're gonna make sure we can see all the inners. And I'll go back and unselect the ones that don't need it, right? So for example, all this. So gotta deselect all of that.
It's the beat, I hear it in my sleep sometimes. Blare it in your Jeep so your peeps can stare at the rhymes. Real rhymes, not your everyday hologram. Even when ribs is touching, never swallow the ham. He'd rather eat a sand sandwich salad might need salt like your man's bland ballad. A lot of stuff happens that the news won't tell you. Blues on L juice, snooze all hell loose. Break it, take it like the good, the bad, the ugly. Break it rolling through your hood in the caddy buggy. Butter softy leather, floss and fatty juggy. Always threw me off when she told me daddy funked me. I'm like anywho's, sees walking all out in the street without any shoes. I guess it's better than some funky socks. You need to get her some skips before she gets the monkeypox. She wanna hear the beatbox, take pills and make fake krills to sheetrock. Sing it, bring it back to your laboratory while he's in his oratory, glorious like a horror story. The mask is like Jason, he told the place not to let the basket type case in. He might be some type of wacko, looking for a chance to heat the pipes like a crack hole. He said, blessed be the Lord, who believe any mess they read up on a message board.
Alright, so back to what I was saying. So, sorry I couldn't say anything while I was doing it. So pretty much all I did was just add a flat plane here that's connected to the ears. God, these ears look terrible. Can I, like, smooth that? I don't think it's gonna look good if I smooth it, huh? What the hell? There's polys inside of the polys. Ah, I see, I see. There we go. I think that fixed that, kinda. Me. Detective River is reporting for duty. Urge blast. Does that make it look like this? Look like shit? Kinda, sorta. Well, I think it's the best we gonna get, so I'm gonna stick with it. Okay. So, like I was saying, the reason why I made this plane right here, right, was specifically so, like, see how it has, like, these, like, floating bits? You don't really want to sculpt these when you can just draw them. And it makes it 1,000 times easier. So all you do is you make it a transparent background when you're doing texturing, right? And then you just draw the lines how they are. And then this bottom bit right here will be the flat bit that has all the blue and purple shady stuff. And we're going to do some, like, Banisphere type stuff with that. And all that jazz. And it'll be real easy. But we're not to texturing yet. We're just sculpting it out. Getting the image going, right? So I'm pretty sure we have it as is now. Mind you, my shit looks terrible when it's sculpted. But once I start texturing things, it looks great. So we're going to go and start pretty much texturing things out now. And we aren't going to merge everything yet, right? Not just yet, but we're going to start going through and labeling what needs to be what, kind of. So first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing the, what are you going to call it? Well, I think this is actually going to be the end of part 1 for the headset. right? I'll do all the clothing later, but for right now, we're just gonna get the sculpting down so people understand sculpting, and then we'll do one for texturing, and then another one for like wait for that would be like a 3-second.
We gon' be okay. We gon' be alright. 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 Must have been 211 when the world ended. At least it felt like it at the